try to do it the way I like to do it, the way we can have a good time, you know what I mean?
Amen. Amen.
We're supposed to have a good time in the Lord. He said live life abundantly, so I think while we're learning about it, we should have a good time doing that.
Amen.
It's the Lord. It's the Lord. And we're going to start in Joshua. That's going to be chapter 24, verse 14. And he's asking a question here. Who are you going to serve today? You're going to ask yourself this question. So it says, let me change these glasses. These eyes ain't like they used to be. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, life done got me. It say, so fear the Lord and serve him wholeheartedly. Put away forever the idols your ancestors worshipped when they lived when they lived beyond the Euphrates River in Egypt. Serve the Lord alone. But if you refuse to serve the Lord, who choose today whom you will serve. So right here we asking a question: who you gonna serve? You gonna serve God, or you gonna serve man and the way your family came up? At the end of the day, Adam had came to this conclusion that I gotta serve God or I'm not gonna make it. So what he tell him? I need you to leave your family's house because they're evil. They think they know you, but they don't know you because somebody live in you called Jesus. You know what I'm saying? When he live in you, you don't know what's going on because we walk by faith, and when things come at you by faith, you know you have to pivot sometimes. You see that? Because when he took my wife, you see that? I had to pivot. And when he took my brother, I had to pivot because they don't understand what a true worship is. When you walk with God, you serve because you become a jack of all trades. If you can serve people and do your things at the same time, what you think you Moses went to? If he's on the potter's wheel, so you can serve God and he can build you up. But the thing is, the Bible say through much grief and through much sadness is a refining thing on a person. We don't want to go through that, so we run and push that away. If everything that you get when you are born to the day that you die is leaving anyway, why do we hold on to stuff?
Come on, please.
You see that? When he took my wife, I was like, what's going on? Because a lot of preachers and a lot of people, they want to look at somebody else's sin, but when he started doing that, cleaning up your house, as they say, and you start sweeping around your door, then you start looking like, what's going on in my life? What do I need to clean up? You see that? What do I need to get right? Because if I get it right, I can show somebody else how to get it right, but you can't show nobody how to get it right if you run around backbiting and hating on folks. You see that? And I'm saying you can't get into heaven like that, know that. So we're going to go over and I'm going to show you how. Look here. The problem was Cain was a hater, and we got Cain descendants around here. You see we got Cain descendants? You know Cain descendants. We got a bunch of, and they in the pulpits. Yes, Lord. But anyway, but God got some babies on reserve. You know what I'm saying? They got a light. He told you to let it shine. That's what I've been doing the last 4 years. But my brothers hadn't called me, so I know they are haters. You see that? But that's okay. That's nothing here or there. But I do what God tell me to do. We're going to go over to Ezekiel, and I'm going to put some power in this word.
Come on, break down.
So we're going to go over to Ezekiel. I want y'all to turn over to Ezekiel chapter 3. And we was talking about Cain. He was a hater. So we're going to look at chapter 3, verses 8. Start there. It says, but look, I have made you as obstinate and hard-headed as they are. He's talking about his people. You say that, he said in Ezekiel, in Zechariah 12 and 8, he said, in that day I'm going to make the lowliest of you like King David. So if King David went out and killed giants and went and fought against the people that came against God's people, what are we doing today? We're going to pray about it, faith without works is dead. It don't work. You see that? So you got to get that Malcolm X in you too. You know what I'm saying? That rebellion. You got to have the Martin Luther King but the Malcolm X, but you got to combine it. That's how it can help you see what we've got to work with, because you can't be no weak Christian out here. You see where the world is going? You're going to have to stand on faith. So when you stand on faith, you put boundaries up them walls. I ain't going to take this. This ain't going to come in my house, because you bring that in there, you bringing destruction into me. You see that? So when you build yourself up from the bottom up, and you know who you are, because God say, I live in you. I in you and you in me. I dwell in temples made without man's hands. So when you think you're going to build a church for God, make sure you know that church that he built first going to build that church that you're trying to build for God. How you going to build God a church when this church is already the earth and the fullness thereof? He's on the cattle on 1,000 hills, but we put money into it, and now we all tired and frustrated. We need to go back to the way the Indians do it, eat out the fat of the land. You see what I'm saying? At the end of the day. So it goes on to say, so don't be afraid of them. You see that? or fear their angry look. They're going to be angry. They're going to look funny. You see that? They look funny at me right now because I'm putting it on them. You see that? If you're a preacher, you call people and make sure people doing okay. You send them a check. If they didn't show up, something may be going on. You might want to get involved if you're a child of God.
Come on now.
You see that? At the end of the day, it ain't about the check. You see that? Hey, if flesh and blood ain't in the kingdom of heaven, what you trying to please the flesh for? That's all money. That's all money do. Think about it. Everything money do make that flesh there. That's why you say I got to make so much money to make sure I'm okay. You're going to be okay if you ain't got nothing. Know that. You see, I took my check. I ain't had a check in 3 years. My insurance gone 3 years after my wife died. You see that? Because the government dropped the ball. And now I got to fight to get it back. God will make you a strong, so he'll show you, no matter if you got $1 million, if you got nothing, you're going to still wake up and be the same person I named you, who you were when you were born. You see that? Yes, Lord. So I know I'm not in it. Then he said, then added, so son of man, let all my words sink deep into your own heart first. That's the problem. They get a word and they run with it, kind of like they did with Jacob's wells. You see that? They start stealing his wells. And that's like stealing somebody's identity and telling, they start copying the way you preach. You see that? But they wells don't go that deep. See, you made a third well, and they couldn't mess with that well, because that well went all the way to the well named the Samaritan. The Samaritan when Jesus met her there. You see that? No. You had that same well. Can you build one better? She was talking to living water. You see that? The one that straightened you up. That's why he's there, because he's that measuring stick. When I get off balance and somebody make me go, well, Lord, you need to grab my hand and take it, because I'm about to let this one have it. You know what I'm saying? And then I have to grab Jesus and he'll mellow that out. Well, if you don't use Jesus and you ain't got no measuring stick, how you gonna know when you're off? You see that? But that's not the only thing. But see, the thing about these haters, you ain't got to worry about it, because he said, vengeance is mine, right? Is that what he said? Let me show you why he say that. We're going to jump over to Zechariah. Zechariah, and I think that's going to be 5, if I'm not mistaken. Zechariah 5, verse 3 through 4. Then he said to me, this scroll, the curse of that is going out over the entire land. One side of the scroll says that those who steal will be banished from the land. The other side that says to those that swear falsely will be banished from the land. And this is what the Lord of heaven's army says, I am sending this curse into the house of every thief, and into the house of everyone who swears falsely using my name. And my curse will remain in that house, completely destroying it, even its timbers and stones. So he talking about these houses. We go around hating. We go around hating on people. This tongue he talked about, we will be perfect in James. He said we will be perfect if we can control the words that come out of our tongue. You see that? We can't control that because it's something in our heart. You see that? That's why God wrote the 10 Commandments on stone, because that's the way our heart is. You see that? Until you come to Jesus, he can't write in the sand like he did when they came and asked him that question about that lady in adultery, and that was an unfair trial because the other one wasn't there. You see that? You see how man will judge the way they want to judge and not allow Jesus to be Jesus. So at the end of the day, God is saying, tend to your garden and use proper words toward people, because at the end of the day, you ain't no better than nobody else. I can make them rich and make you poor, and can you get along like they got along, or you gonna sit back and keep on doing what your brother did, Satan, accuse? You see that? He won't accuse all the time, but you have to understand that God and Satan work together, and they don't understand that part. You see that? Satan got a job too. He got hellhounds. You see, that was a seal. We're going to go over to Ezekiel. Back over to Ezekiel. You see that? We're going to go back to Ezekiel. I'm going to show you why he say that. I'm going to show you why he say that. And then, okay, Ezekiel 9, verse 5. Then I heard the Lord say to the other men, follow him through the city and kill everyone whose forehead is not marked. Show no mercy. Have no pity. Kill all old, young, girl, women, all young children, but do not touch anyone who has the mark. Bringing right here at the temple, so they will bring by killing 70 leaders. So he's saying here, if you ain't got the mark of the Holy Spirit on you, there's an angel. You know in the Bible say we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but the principalities and high places. So my grandmama told me this when I was young. She said, if you could see in the spirit, you wouldn't be able to stand up.
Well,
And I didn't believe that until he started removing stuff in my life, and I started watching the words I was saying. I started seeing that stuff growing in my life. You see that he like Joel Osteen said, you know, your words are seeds. And whatever you plant every day, you can get up tomorrow. And that's why he said, don't say when you can change in the Lord. He done gave us Christ to show us the way, how you can do it. People don't understand why Christ really had to die, because you have to understand this. He was the God of the living and the dead.
come on now.
That's why he took Enoch. He didn't die. He took Moses. That's why the devil was arguing where his bones were.
That's right.
He took
That's right.
Elijah. You see that through the chariot. That's why they was there. And them the olive branches right there. They don't understand about Elijah and Moses. Them the two olive branches that Jesus walked through, because that's the inner court and the outer court. They don't understand that. Moses took care of the inner house of the church, and Elijah took care of the outer house of the court. You see that he went to the people that wasn't of God, but he still was saving. That's what they were trying to show through this whole love thing. Then this heart transplant is what I call this a heart transplant. When you get your heart right, you get your heart happy, and then you can start speaking happy. Then you'll notice your fruits will be happy. You see that? You gotta get all that other stuff. That's why he said, be ye separated. Them low lives, them low vibrational. How y'all doing? How you see that? I know they looking, because they gonna talk about that. At the end of the day, they talked about David. You see that? But at the end, hey, you in good company then. You see, the good thing that they had, that we all have.
Come on, preacher.
He said, let this mind be in you that was also in Christ Jesus. That's what set us apart. You say that, well, we put foots on that with that, and we stand on business. So, like he said, in that day, I'm going to make the lowliness you be like King David. So I'm asking y'all, you can stand up today and be like King David. This word is his authority. He tell you how to move. Don't go around talking about people. Watch your tongue. You'll be perfect. Hey, speak goodness. If you can't help nobody, move out the way. You can't say nothing, stay in the house. You know what I'm saying? Work on yourself. He said, wait patiently in the Lord. If you can't wait patiently in the Lord, you can't wait on yourself. You already done gave up on yourself if you can't find God. So at the end of the day, we can do better than what we're doing as a people of God, because it starts with us. And we don't start, then what we going to do? We're going to roll over and die. And God done gave you life. And every 24 hours that he gives you, he going to ask for an account of that, because you're spending it with his elders. Every hour is an elder. And you better spend time with them elders and the Lord, because they're going to give you insight and wisdom that you can move in this earth and you can be successful. But until you do, you give it up on yourself and God. And that's my time. I love y'all. God bless you.
Yes, yeah.